escape out of that, and that is where I can start drawing my pipe. So if I go to my pipe layer, there it is, there's my pipe. Choose the circle tool. I can start drawing from that end pipe. I start dragging it out. There is the instructions that AutoCAD is asking me. Specify the radius. So the radius is 50. Enter. If I hide, don't forget to hide your construction layer. Don't delete your lines. I want to see your construction layer in your assignment 1 file, because I will turn it on. I want to see how you've drawn what you've drawn. So you must have your construction layer in there so that I can turn it on and see, especially next week when we do the reinforcing, how you've drawn it, okay? So all you need to do is turn it off with the light bulb, turn it on, turn it off, and hide it. So now the next thing we need to do is to put in our 25/7 drainage scoria around the pipe. Make sure you've drawn the pipe first, because you don't want any scoria hatch on the inside of your pipe. So there is my drainage scoria. If I go to the hatch tool, I need to pick my pattern. What is my pattern? My pattern is AR sand. So that 25/7 equals AR sand. So I go, okay, where do I want that hatch? I want it inside here, so I click here. I go enter to bring back my dialog box. I might go 1.2 and then go preview. I might go 1.3, preview. That looks all right, so I'll go okay. So that is my 25/7 drainage scoria. If I double click in here, you can have a second go at, if you think you've chosen the wrong hatch pattern, you can go in here and you get there and you can change it there. If you don't think you've got the correct scale, you can come in here and change the scale and have a second go at that. So now we need the drainage metal up there. So there's our metal layer. Here's our hatch dialog box. We need to go and find our pattern. So our pattern for our drainage metal will be honey. So the stones, the aggregate, the metal, that is the largest is metal size is 40 millimeters, the smallest is 20 millimeters. It's between 20 and 40 millimeters. The hatch pattern for that is honey. Go okay. So where do we want that hatch pattern? We want it. Oh, that's tiny. So that looks enter. So we know 1.3 is too tiny. Let's go to something like 10. Go preview. That's probably too big. So how many? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kind of 5.5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's too big. Let's go down to 8. Preview. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. So that looks about right. So I'll go okay. And that is on the correct layer there. So the next thing we need to do is the next hatch here. So this is our strip of topsoil, 100 millimetres of topsoil here, and underneath that topsoil, so that's the good soil to grow some grass or plants, this is the existing ground or the natural ground. So take note, this hasn't got a solid line. Our trench has got a solid line around it, our drainage metal has got a solid line around it, the drainage scoria has got a solid line around it. But this natural ground hasn't got a solid line, and it's kind of this jiggity-jaggedy shape. Does anyone know why it's got a zigzaggy shape and there's no line underneath? It means it continues on. So instead of covering your whole drawing, basically everything from here on is that natural ground, the existing ground that was here before we started putting in the cycleway. But to put a hatch in AutoCAD, we need a solid line down here because you need a confined area for AutoCAD to be able to put that hatch in somewhere. So again, on the construction layer, if I turn that back on, and on my construction layer, I'll take ortho off using the P-line tool, so all my lines are all joined up. I'm just going to do a random jiggly jaggedy, jiggly jaggedy, jiggly jaggedy, and go over the edges, escape out of that. So I've got a confined area to put my next hatch, and when I hide that, you won't be able to see that line. But at the moment, I need it to be able to put that hatch area in there. So back to the hatch tool. I need to choose my pattern. My pattern is going to be, so natural ground. Is earth. And what is the angle? So take note, you're going to have to change the angle of that. If you look at the picture, there is earth. The earth is vertical and horizontal, so we choose that. We choose the area that we want to put it in there. Oops, we're on the wrong layer, but never mind, we can pick it off and put it on the correct layer. So enter. Now the scale actually probably wasn't that bad, so if I just change it to 9 in preview, so don't see how on the PDF they're on a 45-degree angle. See how when you don't change the angle, it is perfectly vertical and horizontal. We don't want to leave it that way, we need to put an angle on it. But I think that seems to be about the right scale. But here next door to the scale is the angle. So if we type 45 and go preview, that actually looks pretty good. So I'll lock that in and go OK. I have got that on the construction layer. We don't want that there. We want it on the natural ground. So that's better. And now I can hide my construction layer. So you do need to hide, you do need to draw it to be able to put that hatch in, but I don't want to see that line underneath your earth hatch in your file when you submit it, okay? You'll lose marks if you do that. It does need to be hidden on your construction layer. So what we need now are these are called leader lines. So it connects your text to, tells you what you're looking at, and they come with a arrowhead at one end. So again, there's a drawing protocol how to do this properly. So if I copy this over here, So the command I want you to use is QLeader, QLEADER. And this uses the dimension styles. So it will take the arrow size from the dimension styles. This is the one I want you to use. And for all of you who will forget this between here and next week, and if you find there is another tool in AutoCAD, or if you Google it, there is another thing called a multi-leader that doesn't use the dim styles to create the arrowhead. And basically it gives you an ant size QLeader. So don't use multi-leader, but do use the QLeader command, because it will give you the correct arrowhead. Now, when you look at it, in this file, this little straight piece, I've only drawn one QLeader, and then I've mirrored it, and I've mirrored it. So from one, I've drawn all of my QLeaders, and all I do is reposition the end of it to where it needs to be. So there's nothing worse than drawings that have got QLeaders that are all sorts of special and weird and wonderful shapes. So you need to understand this drawing protocol as well. So to draw a QLeader, you type in the command line QLEADER, enter. In AutoCAD is saying specify the first leader point. So you start with the arrow end. So I'm just going to click randomly here. Oh, I'm on my construction layer. Let's put it on our text and dimensions layer. That's a better layer. Start again. QLEADER, enter. First point, so there's, I've drawn my arrowhead. So I don't want ortho on, I want to do just a random angle. I click a second time, and then I need to do that flat piece, that piece leading into the text. But I need to come down and turn ortho on so that it is a true horizontal line, not a visual horizontal line, an actual horizontal line. I click a second time and I escape out of the tool. So here is my master QLeader. So note that is quite a short little straight piece. I'm going to select the mirror tool, specify the first point. I've got ortho on. I want to mirror it to that side. I click the second point. Do I want to erase the original one? No, I don't. Click no. Select both of these, mirror them again. Click once, click twice. And my mouse is frozen. Mirror tool, select objects, enter, click once, click twice. And my mouse is frozen again. Type NO, enter. And then I can copy. The way that you need to position this text is from that end point, take ortho off. So it's halfway on the height of the text there. If I copy that from there and place it there, halfway on that line of text. Now obviously you're not going to have 4 QLeaders on every piece of text, but in a minute I will show you So if you are pointing down and to the left, this is the cue leader you would use. Not those three, just this one here. But if you were pointing down and to the right, then this is the cue leader you would use. From the bottom row of text on the right hand side, if you're pointing up and to the right, then you go from the top line and point upwards. If you're going up and to the left, you put it on this side. You don't have them all here everywhere, but depending on where you're pointing to show your object that your text is about, is the side or the above or below is where you're doing. When you've got more than one line of text. So if I take this one here and copy that, and I copy it from, so this one will be pointing down and to the right, so it's from that second row. This is only one line of text, so that goes down there. This is only one line of text, so that goes down there. That's only one line of text, so that goes about there. There's another single line. This one's got 3 lines, so from the bottom line, and then there's another single line one here. And then you just select your cue leader, and wherever your pipe is, you attach it to the pipe, you attach it to the concrete block wall. So you've got standard leaders. So if I take this one here, copy that to the other side. So this is going down, so on the bottom line, down there, my reinforcing, so that's from the bottom line. We don't have any reinforcing until next week, so that will be somewhere down here. Natural ground, make sure you actually touch the object, so make sure you've got nearest on and you actually dock to the thing that you're talking about. So that's my 100 mil of topsoil above the natural ground. So because we've drawn this side, you guys can figure out how to draw that side there, but don't put the cue leaders there before you've drawn the next one. But that side will obviously be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blocks high. Then you'll draw the topsoil there. Then you can draw your treach. You can offset your filter fabric exactly the same way that you did on this side here. So when I go Control A, I've got still everything here sitting by layer, by layer, by layer. If you have one of these that disappear, you've done something incorrectly. Okay, so we've got about 20 minutes. So is there something that you would like me to repeat, or do you want me to go around looking at your drawing and is there something, a question you want to ask about your assignment or your clock or something you didn't understand in that feedback? Yeah.
वो इसलिए क्योंकि पॉली पॉइंट में जैसे तो 4 साइड बनाएगा डब्ल्यू, तो अगर तू एक साइड को सिलेक्ट करेगा तो सिर्फ वही से साइड सिलेक्ट होगी जब तू नॉर्मल लाइन से बनाएगा, और जब तू पॉली पॉइंट से बनाएगा तो एक ही बारी में पूरा डब्बा सिलेक्ट होगा। पॉली हो गया ना, मतलब एक से ज़्यादा। I have one question related to text. Like when I'm just clicking OK on it, it's becoming so small I can't even see it.
What's that?
The text.
Which one?
That.
That's
that-
there.
No, that's what I'm saying. That it's. Wait.
You just do a test.
Close, but you've gone in there and changed something. So what you've done is use the roller.
Oh, the size. You need to
Yeah.
size.
I changed it to 50. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it's
No,
clock.
you need to select the text. Select, then change it to 50.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Thanks.
But you can always easily reposition use the roller piece of space there. Hang on. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, we haven't done the chamfer. Sorry. So we haven't done this angled line. The 70 by 100 chamfer line. So don't put this on a separate layer. It's not something I can go to Mitre 10 and buy a bucket full of chamfers. The word chamfer, if you Google it, just means angled line. And the reason why they have put that angled line is to increase the concrete around that base, to give it more stability, more strength down there without increasing the cost of it crazy amounts. So what we need to know is the dimension is 70 by 100, and what I'm telling you is the 100 dimension is the vertical line, the 70 is the horizontal line. So when you enter it into AutoCAD, you need to know which number you put first to which number is the second number, because when you choose the lines, it will stick the first number to the first line that you choose. So don't confuse them. Okay, so what I'll do is I might just delete that and get that out of the road because it's going to be in the road. So there is a tool called chamfer. It's the fourth one down on the right hand side. Up. Fourth one up on the right hand side, chamfer. So if you click on that and see what AutoCAD is asking us, we know what the distance of this chamfer is. So we need to click on that word distance, because that's the word, that's what we have, the information that we have. And then I need to type 70, enter, 100, enter. And now AutoCAD is asking us to select the first line. So the first line has to be the first number you put in. So I put in 70, and I've told you that the short one is the horizontal line. So the first line is, I'm clicking here, and now AutoCAD is asking for the second line, which is the horizontal. See how I hover over that? AutoCAD is doing that chamfer for you automatically. Click on the chamfer tool. We know the distance. First distance is 70, enter. Second distance is 100, enter. Click on the first dimension line. The short one is the horizontal. Second line is the 100. Chamfer tool, distance, 70, enter, 100, enter, select. Chamfer, distance, 70, 100, select. Job done. Don't put any hatch in there. Sorry, thank you for putting that out.
अंदर की लाइनें और वो सब पाइप
Now it's only the second shed distance from you. And now it's asking the silicon use on the first line. Is that low? You can go down a little bit.
उसकी क्या बात है?
ये पूरे का पूरा डब्बा ट्रेन से जाऊँगा
ये डब्बा ही ट्रेन से नहीं आएगा ये।
इसके ऊपर टॉप सॉइल है ऊपर वाली लाइन पे टॉप सॉइल है ना
So that means all of these are on place. And then the trench, you've got the single dimension width of the trench.
जैसे ये देख पहले ऑफसेट किया 100 किया इसको यहाँ पर डाल दिया ओके बाद में जब डब्बा ड्रॉ करना वहाँ यहाँ से ड्रॉ करना है या शुरू से ही करेंगे
शुरू से।
There wasn't straight line here. It's just a line on the top sort of rail and that point using on
and
it's just a random it is just before drawing and do it a similar length because if we do it too short you won't have, hang on, you won't have enough room. So that's quite long in comparison to what you were starting to draw, so it needs to be a bit longer than what you had there. Well, you draw one and then you use your offset tool to offset that.
वो तो हो रहा है कुछ
Tell you what type of you move too fast, you're not reading. It tells you exactly what you want. So
वो इसमें पाइप आएंगे इसमें छोटी लाइन आएंगी वो भी सभी ट्रेंच के अंदर ही आएंगी ना दूसरा ट्रेंच को ट्रेंच 2 कहेंगे या ट्रेंच
पता नहीं।
stop. You can move it up and it will offset here down below. So below that line somewhere. Click here. And it's offset below exactly 100. Then take that out.